So we're going to answer the question, why or should you buy a salvage title bike? The answer is yes, you should buy one. A salvage title says nothing about the condition of the bike. Just like a clean title says nothing about the condition of the bike. So what is it? Well, a salvage title is something called a brand. As you can see on the left, all titles have this. If there's nothing in that box underneath, it's called a clean title. If there's something in that box, it's called a branded title. As you can see there, it says not actual mileage and salvage rebuilt. There are various brands. There's Flood, Fire, rebuilt. If you run into a rebuilt title, that's just a salvage title that was inspected. So some states have inspection laws about salvage titles, some don't. But it doesn't mean anything. The takeaway is it doesn't mean anything about the condition of the bike. They are no issue about insuring them. If you're not getting full coverage insurance, the insurance company's not insuring the bike, so they could care less what your title status is. If you're for full coverage, I've never had an issue. And I've known a lot of people and nobody's ever had an issue. But there's a lot of insurance companies, so there may be some. If you then wreck your bike and it has a salvage title, they will take that into consideration for how much they pay you out. Stands to reason. But so when you go look at a bike, do not think a clean title means anything. That somehow that bike is okay. I have been fixing bikes for 40 years, and all of the really what a normal person would consider wrecked have clean titles. That's why I have them fixed. Doesn't change the status of it. If you have full coverage insurance, you just give it to the insurance company, they pay you. They will then take these bikes and sell them at auction. Once the insurance company owns it, that's when the title changes to salvage. And so there is some hassle in some states. I think all states will allow you to get them back on the road, but you need to ask at DMV for your state what is required. So I'm in South Carolina. They're treated normally. Nothing is required. I'm told the same is true in North Carolina, and I've been told that by many people. And I know that in Georgia, you do have to get an inspection the first time. They charge you $100, and then you get the title back and it says rebuilt on it. There's not really much of an inspection happening there. They want you to show up with some receipts that shows that you fixed something and that you didn't use stolen parts. So why do I like these? Well, all the depreciation's taken out. So I have 5 of them because they're not that expensive. These would all be $10,000 plus bikes. So this Daytona, it's one of my favorite bikes of all time. It was a theft recovery. I've put 6,000 miles on it. There hasn't been so much as a hiccup. I had to replace all the locks because they were drilled out by the dirtbags who stole it, and it was spray painted blue and black with silver sprinkles. Because they try to make them look as unlike what they stole, and so it took me a good part of a month, and I had to take everything apart to get the paint off. But so that's one of them. Out of these 5 bikes here, 4 of them have salvage titles. No matter how well you know bikes, you could look at them all day, you'd never be able to tell what's what. It's just that they follow car rules, and cars are a lot more expensive, so they make more sense. So motorcycles just fall under that. But here's the poster child for how silly this is. So this has a salvage title. Exotics and really expensive bikes frequently do. It doesn't take much. So you probably can't even see this on the camera. But if you ran your finger right here, there's a little bump. It fell while they were unloading it from a trailer. It fell against a rail. On a Buell, that's hollow, and it's the gas tank. They would have to replace that frame piece, which would require disassembling the entire bike and reassembling it. They're not going to do that. On bikes, they're just going to pay you out. They're going to take your bike, because they own it. They're going to hand it over to an auction, and they're going to get most, in some cases, all of their money back, plus your deductible, plus your insurance premium. It's a good deal for insurance companies to total bikes. That's why there are many totaled. They will be harder to sell, because most people don't know this and think that some expert looked at them and determined that something is seriously wrong. That is simply not the case. Anytime the insurance company pays out, and nowadays they don't even send out an adjuster. They don't have the time, they don't want to waste the money, they don't have a network of repair shops. They're just going to pay you out, they're going to sell their bike. You will be able to insure it, guaranteed, and you When you do the research on how much hassle is involved in getting it registered in your state, do not trust the internet. You have to go to the official DMV site or call DMV. Most of the stuff on the internet is clickbait sites that try to look like DMV. They all copy each other, and the information is flat out wrong. The one for South Carolina says you need an inspection, even though there's never been an inspection law here. They'll often frequently say that you have to be a licensed rebuilder. That is only technically true. That's true if you're in the business of doing this. But every state allows you to rebuild, so to speak, several vehicles a year. Georgia allows you to do it 3 times a year for yourself. So don't let that stop you. You know, you're gonna get a good bike at a good price. You got to get the price. That's the point of it. That's the reason you're doing it. And a good rule of thumb is to go on NADA.com, look up the bike, and it really should be at the low price or 10% off the low price, and it should be in excellent condition.